Haiti Organic, Haiti Organic, Haiti Organic, Haiti Organic 1804, Haiti Organic Experience. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wanted to drop this video for you guys today and give some information on what's been going on in the country for the past couple days. At times, I realize some people they're surprised when if you go and you look at the influencers, the people that are promoting a lot of the good things in the country. When there is tragedy, for some reason, these influencers, these people, they don't speak. Maybe it's not good for their brand. I think that's what it is sometimes. Sometimes they're afraid to speak about these things because it could affect their money. I don't know. But we've had massacres still going on. This is in Seguin. This is spelled Seguin. Seguin. That's how you say it. Pretty low-key, relaxed area, man. A lot of rich people had a lot of homes built over there. There's cabins built there. A lot of farmers, farmland. This was a very relaxed area just a few years back, and now it's a war zone. The police, there wasn't a lot of police. When you're talking about a lot of these secluded areas, there isn't a lot of police. You have a few cops, and once they are ambushed by these guys who have better weapons, more ammunition, then they take it over. So this is a problem. This locale, Seguin, you can actually travel after leaving this city. You can travel toward Jacmel, and this is why the people in Jacmel for the past week has been, basically going crazy and screaming at the government to do his job. This is not a cop, by the way. You're looking at one of the little gang leaders over there that was responsible for this attack in Seguin. We had BISAP, which was like the environmental brigade. They were up. They were in these areas over here fighting against the gangs. But what ended up happening was the government, of course, removed them from their post. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, is the government involved in this? It would make no sense, right? It would make no sense. But what's this guy's name? They call him Norime, which means no rumor, which I guess. They always say these gangs, one thing about them, they're more truthful than the government. That's like the little joke, you're pas fait rimer. They don't make rumors. If the gangs say they're gonna come and attack an area, that's what they do, with no real defense, no line of defense, nothing, And we have the police, we have the military, we have, I don't know, it's a little bit crazy. Now, again, I say it again, the top influencers online, I understand if they choose not to speak on these type of topics because it might hurt what they got going on. But over here, we continue to talk about the history, the culture of the country, and all of this chaos with the gangs and the violence and the death. It is part of our history right now. It is becoming part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Things are happening, and it just gets brushed off the next day. Now, let's get into the Citadel. Shouts out to anyone that's from Cap Haitian, OCAP. My maternal side and my grandmother, and they're actually from this area in Milo. Um, Even though the mountain top of the Citadel is not actually Milo. Milo is further than the bottom. So I had some notes. Where's my notes? I was like, let me get some notes for y'all, man. Do it the right way. So of course, the Citadel La Ferrière was built between 1805 to 1820. It's a massive fortress, right? And this is when I visited a couple years back. I've been trying to find this guy. His name is Eddie Milfort. I've been trying to look for him. You know, if anyone watching this, if you recognize that guy, send me a message, because I'm looking for him. I need to talk to him. And his number that I had, it doesn't work. I've tried it. Anyway, back to this. So this is a massive 19th century fortress. It's in the north. All right, Cap-Haitian. I said Milo, but like I said, when you reach the mountaintop, this isn't actually Milo. How do you say it? Vauzeux? It's a weird French word. My French is not good, so I'm not even going to try. It's built by former slaves, you know, under the supervision of Henry Christophe, the king, Roi Christophe. And it was built to defend the country, really to defend himself against of invasion after we had declared ourselves independent. And then, you know, we had a divide in the country between the north and the south. So because of this, he went to the north. He proclaimed himself king. He built up the fortress and basically, you know, had his own thing going on. It was commissioned in 1805. Towards 1820, that's about 15 years. And it was a system of fortifications designed to protect Haiti from any potential foreign invaders, especially France. Now you guys don't worry, because from time to time, for the rest of the year, I'll put these videos out on YouTube so you guys can hear the audio of what's going on. But I just want to use this as a background for what we're going to get into, right? Now, about 20,000 people, they said, built it. I could not get an official number, because it says 20,000 people died over building the fortress, which, I mean, that's a high number, but you have to remember, there are people buried here. The king, Roi Christophe, he's buried somewhere in here. I mean, they mummified him. He's buried in there. They said he caught a stroke, and then he ended up killing himself because the population was basically standing up against him, and the whole monarchy, they became like, you know, dictator, tyrant, whatever you'd like to say. So there's a lot of tragedy behind what happened with the Citadel and the fortress. You know, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a major national landmark. It's a tourist attraction. But this past week, there was something that happened, right? Where you had an event. It's an annual event that they have every year, celebrating the Citadel. And what happened is, this past week, which was cool, we had influencers like Ariana on TikTok. You had influencers that are doing big things in Africa and in France. And that same night, they had an event in the Citadel, and well, that day actually. So it started during the day, and it went on, I guess, a little bit to the evening. The students and the young people that went to this event uh, this past Sunday, this past weekend, they started to go and knock on all types of doors. Now I've been in here, okay? I've been all up and down this castle, and there's definitely a strong vibration. There's a strong vibe when you're here. There's no doubt about it. But I wasn't going around like mocking spirits and talking crazy, right? You know, the group that was, that went, they went in, and they were partying, having a good time, drinking, maybe going a little bit further out the way, right? And I was listening to local reports on the local stations in Cap Haitian, and there's reports of like people seeing like ghosts and phantoms and this and that, and I know, even from being there, that castle is haunted. You understand? From Henry Christophe to his child. I think his child is buried there too, I think. You have people that were killed and buried underneath the castle. Christophe, he was known for, like, if you when they were building this, right? And sometimes you'd have people complaining about the labor. He would shoot you. You understand? He was known for this. Like, if they're bringing up, heavy, well, I don't really know much about the construction of the castle, but let's say they're bringing up heavy items to, do what they're doing up there. And it takes about like 5 to 6 or 7 people, and one of the guys or two of the guys might be complaining. He would shoot whoever's complaining, and whoever's left, they would actually do what they got to do. So there's a lot of bloodshed behind the castle, okay? Even though it's a beautiful infrastructure, but there is still some, dark things about, what happened. So now I don't know why this group would go in there and just start playing around like it was a big joke. I'm not sure. But maybe what happened, it's a good lesson, right? Maybe it won't happen again, right? So this is what the reports say, the local reports say. This annual event that UNESCO and the government, they know that the event was going on, that people was going to be in there. So now they're drinking, they're partying. Some people start to see things, right? Some people start to see things inside, and then there's like a fog. There's like a really, really thick fog that's coming in, and it does get real foggy up there, especially like early in the morning and at night. It does get foggy. I mean, we went there kind of like after 12 or 1, and even around this time it was kind of whatever. So, excuse me. So now they the fog, it's so thick, it ends up suffocating a lot of these folks, right? People are getting suffocating, they can't breathe, they dying. When vehicles go up to actually take the cadavers, take the bodies, one of the vehicles stumbles over. I'm not even sure if the driver dies or not, but it was a crazy scene. About 30 people were confirmed dead. First they were saying 50. The last numbers I said it was 30. A lot of young people, a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? Young ladies, young women died. And And then when you go, people who are reporting on this, there's so many different theories, right? Some people just say, well, of course they were drinking and um, maybe drugs, this and that, and they just suffocated. You know, uh, the air, it does get real dense up there. Uh, so that's what caused the stampede. Now I'm going to give it. I'm going to explain it from another angle. Uh, the fact that this happened the same night while we had uh, young Haitian TikTok stars, doing winning championships in Africa. I feel like the spirits that we're always talking about, that's in voodoo and this and that and all of this energy, I felt like they wanted to make a statement, right? First of all, this Citadel, this is a sacred area. The country, the island itself, I believe it's a very sacred, you know, island, country, us as a people. And I believe that the spirits feel like if we don't take things serious, they're gonna just, you know, brush us out the way so they can prepare for the new, the new group that's gonna come in and really do something for the country. I want to tell you, if you look, this right here, this room, I remember there's an echo when you're in this room. And those holes, pause, all those holes that you see on the wall, it's like air circulation that travels all throughout the castle. You know, the castle, it's usually very cool in there, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter how hot it is outside, like it's always very, very cool in there, you know? Again, I have seen how dense, like you can see everything right here. When it's foggy, you can't really see nothing. So this theory about the fact that the fog is what came down and suffocated them, okay, I mean, that could happen, right? But the fact that there's a lot of ghosts, zombies, and all types of things going on over here, I feel like there was a picture that I saw. I tried to save it. I couldn't find it. And I don't even know if it was AI. That's why I didn't want to post it. One of the students who did not pass, they didn't die. So they were reporting to a reporter, a journalist, telling them that they saw like a figure, like a phantom, you know what I'm saying? Like a ghost figure, but she says she physically saw the person, and he was dressed up like in all black, with a black hat, and he kind of just vanished. You know what I mean? Now, when I was up there, I didn't see any ghosts. I didn't see anything, but of course, I did feel like, there's very, very strong energy in there, and that's not somewhere you should go and play around with, So, this stampede and this thing that happened, that's how it's reported. They were drinking, became real foggy, probably drugs. They ended up suffocating. And then when they came to get at the bodies, the vehicle that came to got them, it was coming down and it tumbled over. So, real crazy. Real crazy. And I do not believe that these type of events that's happening in April, right? Like if the population, or if the people if they don't like start to actively change themselves, their mind, to change the country, we're going to probably keep on seeing these things. You understand? We're going to probably keep on. And then another thing, when we're going back into the fact that there was a lot of young people that died, right? Now, all of those young people that died right there, they become part of that whole staff of well, I don't mean to laugh, but there's a lot of things going on inside of there. There's people that go not just to visit the castle, but to go into some of those caves, some of those rooms, and pray. It's there's a lot going on, and I think those kids made a big error. But maybe it was meant to be, and that's just what it is. So I wanted to share that with you because I did get some, I've been receiving messages and friends asking me to kind of elaborate on what happened because they didn't really understand how the people died, how the kids died. And again, like I said, it was about 30 people, and maybe like 2 or 3 of them were guys. So, and the international airport. Okay, the international airport, of course, the international group, our friends, and the elites, the business elites, the politicians, they just closed down the airport, and they have military operations going on in and out, taking things, leaving with things. We don't know what's going on. So, I guess this is like an SOS. Anyway, Haiti Organic, Haiti Organic, Haiti Organic, Haiti Organic 1804, and Haiti Organic Experience. You guys continue to just enjoy the show. Peace, love, happiness. Aibo.